Greetings. It's really great to have you all on here. It's good to see a couple of people already on in the chat. If you are on, please say hello. It'd be great to hear from you today. Here we are on my save on East Vineland NJ. And hopefully today we will have no technical difficulties. Yesterday's live stream sadly had to be scrapped into the abyss of forgetfulness because despite it being probably the best live stream that I've ever had, it turns out my audio was corrupted and got worse and worse as the live stream went on. And yeah, it basically became untenable that it could carry on. So it was basically brought to an abrupt end, really. And so yeah, today we have a job of seeding. If my auto guy is going to do it, I think we might be doing it manually if he doesn't cooperate soon. No, he's just not having it, is he? So we'll give it a go anyway. It's not like we've got much to do otherwise. I was hoping to quickly show you around the farm. Of course, if you were there to the end or saw my live stream yesterday, you would have at least seen, if you didn't hear, what's that, Chris? Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Like I say, no promises on exactly what I'm doing on Saturday. It was Sunday we were going to do the actual baling, if I remember correctly. But if I can get to you on Saturday, we will have a look at it. So yeah, I did actually get to build my farm. And as we drive past, you can see the house just there. Beautiful English style house. We did have a few issues with leveling the ground and stuff like that, and then having done all that on my live stream, to find that the audio was corrupt as well, had left me quite a lot to deal with over the last 24 hours. So basically I've had to use the visual aspect of the video to run a kind of commentary. That commentary is currently uploading on YouTube as we speak, so hopefully by tomorrow that will be uploaded and we'll all be able to at least see the finished article as it was being made. But I will give a tour of the farm again at the end of the live stream, or certainly at least when we've done this field with seeding. I was hoping to be able to automatically do the do this and let the just let the course play take it away, but he's not cooperating as soon as we go into live stream, so we'll not worry about it. Are you going anywhere nice, Chris? You're going away on Saturday? But yeah, if you are watching, if you are tuned in, please don't hesitate to say hello in the chat. It'd be great to hear from you. As you can see, we're driving towards a chicken pen at the moment. This is the very reason that we're planting wheat in this particular field. Because if we don't, they'll soon be out of food. And it costs us a lot of money every time just to give them some food, so I don't want to be sort of buying them food all the time when we can grow it ourselves. We have sheep in the field the other side of the farm, and those sheep will have a grass field running around them, which we'll be able to bale up and maybe use hay or grass, I haven't decided which yet, to feed the sheep. The idea is that they become totally self-sufficient. We will have to continue to do some of the contracts until the farm is completely self-sufficient, but we don't mind that. It's, you know, it's we've got a good combine harvester, which if we get the opportunity to use it, it will do lots of contracts very quickly. Sadly, in the first year, we didn't get much of a harvest time to use it because nobody offered me the contracts. I think we did 3 contracts, which, considering we spent 400,000 on harvesting gear, it wasn't very helpful. So that's the headlands pretty much done for the. I think what I'll do, I'll just go around this bit that I've missed, and then I'll see if the standard AI worker will take over from there. If Courseplay is not going to play ball today, and if he will, then we'll let him do the job, and we will concentrate on having a quick farm tour, just to show you the progress that has been made. It's one thing. It's a bit of a pity on this game that you can't look back at what farms looked like in previous months and stuff like that. Realistically, I'd have to be able to and be organised to pull up some of the previous live stream videos, but I'm not that versed on how to work the streaming channel, so we won't be getting that today. But certainly it's worth going back and looking at the live streams. Like I say, you won't find the 4th live stream on there because it got binned off, but you'll certainly get the highlights from it if you wait for the video to come out. I would have a bigger drill if I had the money, but because we bought both fields, the 2 fields basically cost us 400,000, and then obviously we built a farmhouse and stuff like that. So while the worker is seemingly working, I shall just take you for a quick tour of the farm. So here we have the farmhouse. I just want to check something actually, because when I came out of my save, I came back to it and it was floating in the air, which was quite impressive. I had to do a load of landscaping, which, if anybody knows how difficult landscaping is, it's really hard to get the buildings to stop floating and things like that. So, I could have done with you helping me out with the contracts that I had on here, Chris. So, is that farming contractor or building? So this is the vehicle that we started off with. It was basically a trailer and a truck. We still do not own a tractor on the farm. We've never owned a tractor. Only ever used contract ones, and for the sake of drilling this field, I have had to lease a tractor because there were no contracts to take. And if you look at the calendar, we had to harvest because the wheat and the barley, it was basically today or next year, so we had to do it. So that's one of the reasons why the money's gone down so much. I will eventually buy a tractor. I think it's inevitable we're going to have one at some point. And the one that I've leased, I think would be the tractor that I would go for as well, the JCB. So. And I'm going to work on the assumption that it's from the country that your accent is from, Chris. And I certainly know there are plenty of farms in that region. So these are the sheeps. So that's presumably you hire out equipment for a certain period of time. Is that how that works? Maybe 2 or 3 years or whatever, and you pay a certain amount of money and then give it back at the end of it. That's the way I understand hire lease. So yep, these are the sheep, and this is what's left of the other field. It's a little bit of a Z shape, really. So if I go into the third person and go for a run. So you've got all this bit we intend to seed with grass. And it runs all the way up alongside the sheep. That's certainly a lot of acreage. I think on this particular game I've got about 6 acres at the moment. So yes, so that's the shape of the grass field that we're going to have. It is purely going to be there just to feed the sheep. That's the only reason we're going to be doing that. But what it does mean is that if we do any baling contracts in the future, we can put all of that money towards raising money for the next field that we buy. And then we can start looking at going into different things. At the moment, we're just aiming to be self-sufficient in the farm that we are developing, which was, of course, just a house not long ago. The house was over here, where this little clump of grass is left in the middle. But we flattened that at the end of last night's live stream and built this beautiful little contraption over here. I did manage to get the floor leveled out as well because it was sunk down into the ground where I've parked my little pickup. The floor was really sunk in, so it was a little bit like an empty pond or something. And I imagine after a bit of rain, it would have become an empty pond. So yeah, we'll get back into the vehicle and see how things are going. We could even pretend that we're driving it if we want, but this is the tractor that I was talking about, Chris. It's the Fast Track JCB. It seems to be, to me, one of the most versatile tractors on the game, and I love driving it anyway. So you can get like the Lamborghinis as a mod, and I quite like that one too. But this one seems to have the power to do most things. It's just the very steepest of hills with the very heaviest of equipment where it seems to struggle, which I found on my save that I've put as a role play on YouTube, which is about one man and his dog in Erlingrat. I do encourage you to go and check out my channel. There aren't many videos on there. I am a very new YouTuber. But you're welcome to go and have a look and like and subscribe if you feel that would be helpful. So Chris, who is on the chat speaking to me, is actually running a series himself, which is was it Bally Springs that it's on, Chris? So when uh, when we go on this game on Saturday or Sunday, depending on what time we have, it's going to be working away at Bally Springs, and it's a pretty good map. Chris is very good at driving around those little narrow country lanes, and it's well worth a watch just to see him zooming down those lanes at full speed, blaming the tractors when they wobble. It's all good fun, and I look forward to joining you in your stream over the weekend. So we've actually on this map, which I can quickly show you. This is the fields that we own at the moment. You can see all the different drops that we've got for the chickens and the bees and all that kind of stuff. But we have made most of our money doing baling contracts for the numerous grass fields that they have on the map. It does get a little bit boring when you're doing the same things over and over again. But we did get a little bit of respite from it yesterday with a bit of cultivating, which was something different that we were able to do. But the contracts have probably brought us in excess of £1 million in total just to get us on a going. Because the one issue with this particular map, if you look, is it's just how expensive every single field is. You know, if you look at this now, 5 acre field, and you're over £500,000. It is sorry, 2.19 acres. Sorry, that was the field number. Over £500,000. It is so expensive, the land on this map, that it just is amazing that we would have been able to already buy a couple of fields at those sort of prices. But having got those fields, it's just a case of getting the crops in that we want, sustaining the farm with them, and then getting more fields where we can start to look at creating a regular income rather than relying on the contracts all the time. And we can start doing some pretty funky stuff. We need to get a few more buildings up in our yard to make sure that all the equipment is in shelter all the time. All the general things that farmers are looking to improve on. But I think we're over halfway now on the first field. So, Chris, it may be worth you sending me a list of the mods that you use on your Bally Springs, so I can just make sure that we've got all compatible stuff on there. Because if you send it me on Discord or something, I can try and make sure that we've got roughly the right mods to let me on it, because I do know that you get issues if you try and go onto another person's save and they've got mods you haven't got, or vice versa. Well, I hope my headset is working a bit better today. It's a new one. The old one bit the dust yesterday very early in the stream. It was just unfortunate for me that I didn't know how bad it was until it completely stopped working. And I'd done about, well, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes of talking to nobody, because nobody could hear what I was saying. Hopefully this one's working a little bit better. Well, so far so good with the AI worker. Doing a little bit better than the coursework guy was doing. The course play, not coursework. I thought we were back at school for a second then. With the coursework. So I think I might go for a quick drive around the map, see whether we could have a little bit of a gander. There's supposed to be an auction house somewhere on the map. I'm going to see if I can find it. What have we got? Bakery, gas station, a sugar mill, farmers market, that is something we can do as we finish with the fields and that today, is we need to get rid of some of this wood that is knocking around the place. So there's the animal dealer, cereal factory. I can't find the auction house that it talks about on here. Supermarket, and we're back down to where we were. What was that one? Supermarket again. So yeah, I don't know where that is. But yeah, we'll just head for a quick gander around. Yesterday I was trying to see if I could get my truck to do 90 miles per hour in between drop-offs on its baling mission. So I did achieve the 90 miles an hour, but it turned out I was on the wrong road and ended up completely lost. It is a big enough map that you can get lost. The one thing I'd say that has disappointed me on the map is the lack of fields that have been used. You know, there's 100 and odd fields, and I reckon that over half of them have stayed with nothing in it since the very start of the game. And I did start in spring, but it just seems like all the farmers in the game have not been farming, so they've all basically been like this, and there's just nothing put in the ground whatsoever. Hopefully that as the game progresses that will change, but we'll have to wait and see. You can only deal with whatever the game hands you, so hopefully that will change at some point. There's every chance when we come along here that we'll find a load of bales that I miss from the baling jobs yesterday. Just as I thought I had finished yesterday, I came across a field that we'd baled but not wrapped, and I'd forgotten it even existed. So we were lucky actually to see it. Otherwise, we'd have had probably as much money as we've got in the bank now, just sitting on a field with us not knowing, and we'd have no materials to wrap it now because we've completed all the contracts. So all the equipment has gone back to the shop. I do intend today for it to be a little bit shorter of a stream. Just wanted to keep the consistency up a little bit and do a whole 5 days in a row, because I do know that when I do end up back at work, I don't know when that will be, but I ain't going to have the same amount of time to produce on the map. So we're going to have to then sort of like work out when I can and can't do. With being such a new YouTuber, it's something that I am, I'm still working out, sort of a routine. I've been working on the editing on 2 or 3 videos now for several days, and I keep promising they will come out soon. And I get a little bit closer every day, but it does take quite a long time, especially when I've had to sort of abandon them to try and do some work on the live stream that didn't work yesterday. It did kind of cause us an issue. So this is basically a little tour of the circumference of the map. As you can see, it's virtually flat. If we just have a good look across, we've got a lot of fields that have been in a state of lime for several months as well. including this one. I like to just go and let them know that I'm here by leaving my tracks for them. This pickup is actually really good to drive. So don't forget, if you enjoy what you're watching, just leave me a like and a subscribe. That would be a great encouragement to myself. I'd really appreciate it. These houses in the middle of nowhere. Let's go and have a look what's going on in this house. So this is identical to the house where we had our farm, actually. So if you can imagine this particular house, but on the centre of the land that we had, there was obviously no sheds there when I first started. It was quite literally just this plot of land, and that was what I bought. It cost me, I'm trying to remember, it was about $250,000, if I remember correctly, to buy that exact plot of land. The only difference is we had a pond at the back of it, which has actually come in handy because the sheep require water. It wasn't in my thinking when I first bought it, but it has proved to be a bit of a godsend in that respect, because I don't have to go anywhere to get the water, it's just there for me. So that was a bit of a bonus. Just want to see what this building is. This is somewhere that we haven't been to yet, to my knowledge. So what's this? Oh, the sawmill. So this is where we'll be coming with all that wood. Hopefully my trailer will auto load it, because it'll be a nightmare otherwise. I'll have to chop it into tiny little bits. So that's the sawmill. Is there something else further down here? Or is it all the sawmill? It looks like it's all sawmill and possibly the productions to go with the sawmill, maybe. Well, that's handy to know, because like I say, we're going to have to come here at some point soon. It's probably the first time that I've actually driven around the map and just given it a good look about. Before now, I've just been so busy doing the contracts that it's been a little bit hectic, really. I'm pretty certain that I'm going to have to completely seed the field which has got the sheep pen on it, because I don't think the workers are going to cope with the fact that they can't get to half of the field. So here we have another production or something. Oh, this is the dairy. On this particular save, I've never actually done cows before. I do intend to at some point, but it's probably going to be quite a way down the line, because number one, I need to read up exactly what I'm doing with them. And number two, we just physically couldn't afford to feed them at the moment. We probably need to be growing a couple of different types of crops, and I think we may sort of like be looking at getting some sort of clothing or a spinnery or something, production wise, so that we can utilise the wool from the sheep, and that may be the way we go before we actually deal with the cow side of things. So you never know, it may be another 5 to 6 episodes before we can even start considering whether we go for the cows or not. But certainly we want to expand a lot before then. Today is probably going to be the first time where we don't particularly expand. It's all about just getting these crops in today. If we don't get it done before the end of the day, we will have missed the time for planting. So that was the reason that it became such a priority. So that's an interesting house up on the hill there. Again, that could have been one that we considered. I do remember in FS17, I think it was, when you had chickens, you had to go round to certain houses to sell the eggs and stuff like that. But that's not something that you have to do on 22. That's a posh house, that one. This is the farm shop south. Well, it looks like the seeder has actually completed that, so we'll head back to the house in a minute and get on to that second field. And I think we'll have to do it because I don't think the workers will cope with doing the grass around the sheep. So I just need to remember the way now. I think we just nail it down here. I just want to keep my eye out for one little stretch of grass, which I did mention in my live stream yesterday. But it could be the next piece of land that we buy, even though it's unlikely to be a mega success. It could be quite useful in some respects. So there's lots of different buildings and stuff like that down here. I'm just trying to keep my eye out on the layout of the map, but with it being such a small map, I might miss it. I think that's it there. So if we turn left at this junction, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's here. So this plot of land is one of the cheaper plots of land. It's 80, well, just less than 80,000, 75,000, something like that. And it's quite literally this rectangular run of grass, probably up to around about the end of the trees, maybe, or maybe just before the end of the trees. So yep, so if we're looking back on ourselves, it's basically that grassland there. But I think that would become useful in itself, because we could use the proceeds from that every 3 or 4 months to raise money in silage to pay for the next fields, or even to pay off the debt that we have, because we do have a little bit of debt to deal with. So we'll see what this is actually done. I think he's done a reasonable job looking at that. So we'll go and get into the tractor And there is a touch there that he's missed, which we'll just quickly... Well, that might have been me who missed that, actually, because I think I did the headland. So yeah, this drill is probably a little bit small for the amount of work that it's having. It is only leased, so it's not like we've spent a lot of money on it. We just couldn't really afford it. I've gone past these symbols for grass. There we go. I'll do that now so that I remember. Yeah, with the landscaping I've done, some of the entrance and exits to the fields are not very comfortable. I've just had a thought that these trailers and tankers might be overhanging and stop us planting grass at vital points in this. So if we lower that, switch it on, and we'll actually do some work rather than leaving it to the AI all the time. So we're definitely going to have to skirt around this trailer, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. I parked it there. That's very tight, but we got there. So what we'll do is we'll just get this little square done, and then we'll have a nice long stretch to be able to work with. So it's been a fascinating save because of the price of everything. You have really been dependent upon doing the contract work and stuff like that. So this is really the first time that I've done any farming on this particular save where it's, you know, it's actually for my farm. It seems to be everything that we've done so far has been to benefit another farmer on the map. So I suppose that's a little bit of a inclination that the save is beginning to slowly make some progress, which is good. I'm not quite as fast as the AI, but so far I haven't got myself tangled up with any telegraph poles or things like that, which seems to be the specialty of the AI on this particular map. Yesterday I got so entangled with, well, I say it was Al, the AI man, who got so entangled with a telegraph pole that I literally had to cheat to unravel the windrower from the telegraph pole, because it just was not coming away no matter what I did. Although I don't think it helped when I folded it up, because I think me folding it up made it much worse. So I'll go one more headland just so that we're well clear of these telegraph poles when we're turning around. Yeah, so it's definitely going to take us a bit of time to work with this seed. The drill is too small really for the job. I did actually lease a bigger drill, which you might have seen the harrow which was connected to it stuck in my yard. For some reason I let the thing go back because it for some reason wasn't filling. I don't know what I was doing wrong with it, but um, the harrow didn't go back when I returned it, so presumably it will sort itself out. Otherwise, I'll be paying lease on something that I didn't know I owned. So I'm not using my steering wheel today, which might be a mistake. It does leave you a little bit open to problems because you're either flat out or not going at all. There's no in between. And especially when you've got a heavy cedar on the back, it does tend to make the tractor a little bit more skiddy. But this tractor has had no trouble with it. I didn't even bother with the weight. So it'd be good to know if anybody else is playing on Farming Simulator, what maps you're on. Are you playing any quirky sort of challenges on the particular game that you have? Obviously the one that we've had so far on this is that we've never really owned a tractor. That will have to change at some point, I'm sure, but at the moment we've managed to stick to it. The closest we've had to owning is this JCB we've leased. The rest have all been contracted to us, and then we've used them for whatever we've needed around the yard. Although most of the stuff that I've done, I've been able to do with my big lorry and also with my pickup truck, but certainly watering the sheep and feeding the sheep, feeding the chickens, you do need a tractor to attach the trailers. So just about managed to miss that trailer, but it's left me a long way out of where I wanted to be. So we're making reasonable progress. We're not a million miles away from this particular square of land being done. Then we're on to the next bit, which is going to be really long, but sometimes that's a little bit better. You're not doing all this turning around, which can be quite frustrating and certainly adds to the time consuming nature of the job. And I think when we've got the mower on the go on it, it's going to make it a time consuming job, that's for sure. So 2 or 3 more rows and this square will be done. Yesterday I muted the live stream, which it was Bruce Gaming that was I was listening to. Only it didn't mute on the stream, so it turns out that while I was trying to start my stream, Bruce was chattering away on it, and I couldn't hear him, but you guys could. So it was something that I realised that I physically have to switch the whole stream off that he's on, which was a little bit of a shame because I wanted to come back to it, but yeah, I basically had to switch it right off to stop him coming through and taking over my stream. Although with the sound problems I had, it might have improved matters a little bit. So we'll just attack this now from there. So that is the shortest bit done. Now it's just a case of getting through the long straight. Hopefully we don't miss any. I think we're going to be a little bit short. Come across a touch. I think we've got it there. That's not too bad. We'll have a nice line, a straight line for the edge of the sheep pen to the grass. That's what we want. We'll go until we hit the bush. We'll have to put a headland in here. It'd be good to know what your favourite job is on Farming Simulator. Some people like the cultivating and the ploughing. Others the baling. Although not come across too many who love the baling particularly, but I think I personally, I think I'm into like the animal side of it. I think I really like collecting the eggs and the wool and taking it to the relevant places for sale. Or in the case of the wool, I'd like to see the production side of it a little bit more. So maybe try and get the wool turned into cloth or turned into clothes. The only production really that I've managed to sort of do in any sort of concentrated form would be the wood, where we did the usual furniture and stuff with it. So that's the only real production that I've given much attention to so far in 22. But I do recognise that grass work is by far the most lucrative. So. It does make an absolute fortune, especially on these little maps with lots of fields. And it has been made a lot easier having the low loader that I've got for my truck, because that saves us probably about 3 trips every time it's full, because it just handles so many bales at one time. Takes a long time to fill it, admittedly. But you're not travelling to and from whatever the sell point is when you're able to get 40 bales onto one low loader. So we're able to get away without the headland at this end because the rest of the field now does not have telegraph poles at the end of it, so it's not too bad. It's just the bushes at the far end that causes a little bit of drama. But actually this has been a pretty easy job, really. There's not been too many complications with it. I may have just enough money to rent a fertiliser now. I don't think they... In fact, I may even buy the spreader because I know that there's a fairly decent one. I think it's about 25,000, and that will still leave us enough money to buy the fertiliser to do both fields easily. So that might be the way to go with that. I will have to eventually get myself a seeder, a drill, but at the moment it's basically going to be leasing every time. But in fairness, with us only owning that one field that's going to need drilling again, the wheat field, it's not really worth buying it yet. When we've got 2 or 3 fields and we're going to be using the drill regular, then that is when we might start to have to look at having this particular piece of equipment, and hopefully a bigger version. So we're making pretty good progress. Quite happy with how things are going at the moment. I think the first year on any farm, it's just a case of getting yourself into a position of self-sufficiency. You've got to be able to get enough stuff that it covers all your general household bills for as little effort as possible. So I suppose the next things that we could or should be considering are things like greenhouses, wind turbines, solar panels. We do have a few solar panels already on the farm, on the roof of the carports that we've got. I've actually managed to get the header under one of the carports. The biggest challenge will be is if the next tractor that we have goes under there to get it to retrieve it for us, because that could be an issue. Seem to remember the first time I didn't keep it under the carports, it was because the tractor that I had wouldn't fit under there to take it under. So it ended up just being loose on the farm. This JCB managed to fit under, which surprised me because it's a big tractor. I hope this gets the whole of this row now, because it will be really annoying otherwise. Don't want to have to come back up here. But I don't think it's going to reach here. Nope, so we're going to have to come back. I had a feeling it wasn't quite level at this point. So what was one width of the drill has very easily become two widths of the drill at this end. So we've managed an hour already. That is impressive. It hasn't felt like that. Time has flown by. If you haven't already, it'd be great if you could just leave a like and click that bell, subscribe, so you get a heads up whenever I come live. At the moment, it's regular late in the evening for me. It might not be that for you, but late in the evening for me. I think we've just we just clicked over midnight, so quarter past midnight here in the UK. So it is late, and in fact, when I'm back at work, it could end up being even later that I do stream, which may mean that those guys from the same area of the world as me might be catching up the next day, because I don't tend to finish work until about 1 o'clock in the morning as a rule. So if I were to stream after work, you're probably talking about a 2 o'clock start. It wouldn't be a very long stream if I was doing it for that, so you're probably talking 3, half 3 when I wrap it up and get myself off to bed. But at the moment I've got every evening free virtually, so while I've got the time, I may as well utilise it with putting some content out there, hopefully getting my my name about and catching up with some of the guys on all the other streams, which actually has become quite one of my favourite pastimes. So and if you're watching this after the event, it'd be great if you could leave a comment in the comment section. Just let me know you've watched the stream, you've enjoyed it, what sort of things you're up to on your farming simulator saves. Yeah, it'd just be great to catch up and chat to each other, and you know, already myself and Chris, who's been on the chat today, have had some good conversations and are looking to help each other out on the games that we're playing and stuff. So certainly it'll be worth you watching out for that stream at the weekend. It's PJ Agri 2025 is the channel, and he'll be streaming and inviting myself along into his save. I feel like everything's gone way too smoothly so far. We'll have to fabricate something going wrong in a minute if it doesn't go wrong. I just love driving this way towards the sheep and seeing the sheep. So I'm watching that money tick away all the time we've got this equipment leased. We don't have the stable income to be able to withstand this particular issue. We do have some honey which we can sell, but it's not going to cover anything like the amount that we're paying for the tractor. And I could have gone for a smaller tractor, I know that, but this tractor is just so reliable. I haven't really found a job yet that it can't do. So, and some of the tractors that I've had, even medium tractors, have struggled with the seeding and stuff like that, the weight of it. Even with the weights on, they tend to, you're trying to turn and going straight on because they just can't cope with the weight at the back. So we're nearly done. Just maybe four or five runs down now. It's only a small section that we're doing. Then we'll be able to get the equipment back to the shop and forward 24 hours, and I hope beyond all hopes that there will be some contracts tomorrow, because otherwise I will have to start considering buying a tractor, because if the contracts dry up, we're going to be stuck for anything to do, because at the moment, once we've done this, until both this and the wheat have grown, we're going to be stuck for things to do which is not going to see us making any money. The animals are too new to be making us any particular produce. They're all very young. We will get some eggs and we will get a little bit of wool, but until they reach full productivity, I don't think you get the same amount of produce from them. The bees have been pretty good. I have to say I've got about 3 full pallets in total from the bees. I think I've only had them 2 or 3 months, so it's pretty good going. I don't know how much you get for honey. I haven't even looked into it yet, if I'm honest. I was just going to stockpile it up and wait until I've got a really good amount and take it all off together. And that is the fields completely done. So I think the only thing we can do now is get the machines sent back to the shops, and once they're back at the shops, we'll rest for the day and move on to the next month, November. I don't know what will happen in November. So what we need to do now is go to the leased equipment and return. Very sad to see that go, but we can't afford it, so it will have to go. There's only that trailer in the sale. Well, I think we did look at that the other day, so I don't know why that's showing in the owned, because I never owned it, I leased it. So, but we're not complaining. I think we just gained 20k from it. I think that must have been a bit of a glitch, to be honest, but yep, so what we'll do, we'll rest and see what tomorrow brings. Somebody's parked in a stupid place there so that you can't get to the rest symbol. Are you going to let me do this? Ah, there we go. We've got it. Somebody wake me up when we get to the other side. Ooh. So we did lose quite a bit of money over the course of this sleep, the month that's just gone by. As you can see, there's been a distinct change in the colour of the trees. The pond looks absolutely amazing in the sunrise. A magic deer that can run on water. But yeah, let's have a wander around to the chickens and... Wow, look at that, you can see the crops already. I wasn't expecting it to be quite so quick with that, because I need to fertilise it, which is a bit of a problem. I think we could, because of that harrow glitch, I think we'd easily be able to afford the fertiliser spreader. It's just whether we have a tractor for it. So we'll have a look at the food. Now they've got food, but they're at 0% health. And I don't know if that's just because I didn't feed them for a couple of months, or I'm doing something wrong with them. But I don't know. Let's click on the animal dialogue and just see if there's any inclination as to why. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to sell them. So I'm not sure why they're 0%. They have food. I probably could have carried on the other way, actually. I don't know why I've gone back this way. But an early morning stroll around the pond. We could even go for an early morning swim. I imagine in November it'll be quite cold, but there we go. Up onto the island. We found a collectible on the island. And here we are at the sheep pasture. So loads of food left, and these are 100% health. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong with the chickens, but the grass is growing, which is really good. We do need to get the fertiliser on before it's too late to get the 100% yield. So I suppose now we just need to go to the... Oh, we got a little bit of wool. We just need to go for the moment of truth, really. Do we have any contracts? I was afraid of that. We'll try and click the new contracts to see if anything is coming up. But that does leave us in a bit of a dilemma, because we are going to have to fertilise today. And I think we're going to have to buy the fertiliser spreader and lease a tractor for a couple of days. And that is going to kill our finances. So, but there's nothing we can do about it. There's no contracts, so let's have a look. Don't think we need either of those, so that's no good to us. And so what do we want? Fertilizer spreader. Trouble is the price of fertilizer too, but so we will buy it because it's probably the last thing that we can buy, and we'll have to lease a much smaller tractor. What I didn't check was so like the horsepower that you need to do this. So we need a weight anyway, so just so that we've got one. So 40, less than 40k for a tractor. Probably could have done with one of Chris's Fords for this one, I think. Is this the John Deere 7810? Is that the one that you kept crashing, Chris? I think we might have to give that one a go. It's not too bad on the horsepower, is it? So narrow tyres, no front loader because we're hiring it, so that will do. Well, that's not too bad. It's a lot. It's probably a third of what we paid for that big tractor. So, and we'll head across and get the fertilising done as quickly as possible. So just edge it forward so I can see what I'm doing. I've got a feeling I need to go from the other side actually for this. I don't know, we're okay. Oh, you didn't see me do that. You did not see me do that. Right, so now the only thing we can do is fill this up. We've got 34,000 left, so we should be okay. I think this does fertiliser as well, otherwise we'll have to get another sale point. So no, it doesn't do fertiliser. I thought it did, but let's just get out and have a gander at what it says. So what is it? Seed, fertiliser and lime station. So that should be filling up fertiliser. Oh, there we go, it's picking it up now. It was just being awkward, I think. Maybe I wasn't in the right place, I don't know. And wow, that has over 6,000. I don't think we'll use hardly any over the course of the next couple of days, but the tractor's going to be eating into our money, which is a bit of a pain. So, oh, look at that corner I missed. Shocking. A whole corner. So, let's go. It's an easy job, if we're honest. I mean, this is pretty much the smallest fertiliser spreader that you can get on the map. But to be honest, it basically is as good as any of the others. It's got such a good reach on it that you probably don't need anything else. So definitely missed a few corners there when I did the headland. Never mind. So I think we're roughly in the middle of the field now. So I believe, let's just switch it off for a second and get onto the map so we can see the fertilizer state. Growth, soil composition fertilized. Yep, so I think if we go straight down now, we will definitely get it all, and that will be this field done. One of these fields was 50% fertilized. I think it was the grass, if I'm correct. So I think that will do now for that. Yep, so, and when we do the grass in a minute, that will be that complete, I think. Try and get off the crops as quickly as possible. I suppose I've been worrying about money, and I've probably got a few thousand sat in 2 piles of wood that I've got on the farm. So it's probably not as drastic as what I'm making out, if I'm honest. There is a couple of annoyingly positioned marks that I've missed here as well. And because we don't own the seeder, it will probably have to stay that way. So one pass down the middle of here will suffice. This is a 10-second job. Just what we like. But I've got to hang on to the tractor because I need the guarantee of a tractor to do the fertilising of the wheat field again when we sleep. All those marks are going to annoy me. So that's it, I think. So in theory, if we look at this field now, that is fully fertilised. Field 28 is going to need another dose tomorrow. So we'll keep the tractor attached so it's ready to go for that. And one thing I'm going to test out before we rest and go into December is whether or not the wood auto loads onto the low loader. If it does, then we'll do the wood today as well. If it doesn't, then I'll save the wood for when we get really desperate. Just trying to decide where to park this. Is the room with the combine? Oh yes, plenty of room. Do I risk a dodgy reversing attempt? Why not? You all need something to laugh at, don't you? So sorry to disappoint. The cone's causing a bit of an issue, but other than that, that was a good effort. So I think that needs picking up, and that would stop the cone issue. So we can come out of that now. That's ready for tomorrow, and we'll get into the truck. Just trying to remember which way it was facing for that. I am going to be slightly locked in here by the trailer. Hopefully I can squeeze out of here without too much of an issue. I'll have to bring the menu back up so I can see. Let's see whether this... Oh, wonderful. Well, I say wonderful, but it's not loaded very much there, so let's chuck it back off. Now that doesn't look very promising, does it? Let's see if it unfolding it makes any difference. Oh, ow. So, why is it full? Don't be so silly. No, it's not having it. So it would have been nice, but I think we'll have to pile that back up before the traffic wakes up and go and have another rest. It's a little bit sad that we're making the progress that we are, really, because it means that there isn't any jobs for us to do. So, whatever it's done, it won't allow us to undo, so those logs are going to have to stay there until I've got the impetus to sort out the wood, but it's not a job that I fancy today. I will have to cheat a bit because I've got literally nothing to get these off the road, so so what we'll do is that, and that. I think that was it for the wood. Most of these ones are actually of a weight where you can legitimately move them, so it's not too bad. It's not totally cheating. This one I can't lift it; it's too heavy, so I'll have to drop it. Yeah, that's cleared that. And so what we'll do is I will go and have a comfort break for a couple of minutes while we rest, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with a fresh drink and ready to go for December, I think. Let's find that. We'll put it to sleep, and then I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, so we are back. It is December. It's looking a little bit bleak out there. And we'll just check the weather forecast if I press the right button and don't bring myself completely off the game. So in December, there's not a lot happens. What do we want? The weather, don't we? So it's going to be pretty cold, but I don't think we're going to see any adverse weather. January's got a bit of snow predicted, rain in February and March. But at the moment, things are good, and we can get on with tractoring with our fertiliser. Get this field done one last time. I think that is the priority. We'll do our daily walk to check the animals out first. Should we do the sheep first this time? There's the deer in the water again. They love the water. Oh, they can legitimately walk on it by the looks of it, because it's frozen. Hope we don't need water for the... Oh, I've just realised I've not gone to the sheep like I said I was going to. So that wheat is 50% fertilised. Says it needs rolling. I didn't realise that. It's a bit late. I don't think I had the money to do it anyway, really. So what am I doing wrong with these chickens? They're still on 0%. There was me thinking that all you had to do was feed them, and the poor things are on 0% for some reason. Interesting. If anybody has any ideas why those chickens are staying on 0%, feel free to mention it in the chat. That would be helpful, just so I could work out what was going wrong with them. Hey guys, how are you doing, sheeps? Are you okay? Not paying much interest to me today. Oh, you are. You're coming to say hello, aren't you? So, how are we doing for food, guys? The irony is, for these, we have so much food available to them. It is quite incredible. So that is that done. We'll get into the tractor now. So, obviously in the wrong one there. That's the one we wanted. This job will be done before the daylight is properly up, because it doesn't take long to fertilise this field. Even with the cheapest fertiliser spreader, it is an easy job. A 42-metre spread. It's quite incredible, really. So if you're watching this after the event, I would love it if you just leave a comment, a like, subscribe. Be great to hear from you. Great to know that you've watched the material and that you've enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for the save on things that we can do, something a little bit different than the normal grass and the normal crops, maybe we could do some sugar. I don't actually think sugar beet's an option, really. I don't fancy that. And I promise you we're not doing potatoes, because I've done a contract for potatoes and that was horrendous. So let me just check I'm lined up right on the old fertiliser map. Is it all this? It's not working. Is that because you have to wait a couple of... I don't know. I'm going to do it anyway, regardless. Perhaps we needed to wait for it to move another stage further. I don't know. But it's not adjusting the condition of the soil, so... But we've done it anyway. If it doesn't like it, it can lump it. Means I've got to hang on to the tractor even longer. A nearly full pallet of honey there to go with the other two and a nearly full one that we've got. So let's just press the right button and see what contracts are. I'm not expecting there to be any, to be honest. There are currently no contracts. Yeah, so we're basically riding out the winter, aren't we? So it's probably the worst time to lease a tractor, wasn't it? Because there's nothing to do. So what we'll do, we'll sleep. I should put the tractor away, really, make it look like I'm doing a job properly. That's quite a little uneven bit there, which is not good really. So let's see if there's anything to do in January. Wow, 25k. The snow is falling. Happy New Year and all that. Yep, the snow's getting bad. It's 100% fertilised, the grass. So it did need ploughing really, that, to get the full yield bonus, but never mind. So fertilise 50%. Let's see what the actual weather forecast is. I'm going to assume that there's no contracts yet, so wow, we're coming into a real tough period for the farm. There's literally nothing to do. So it does get, by 12 o'clock, it does get to 5 degrees. That may melt the snow away as I press the wrong button to speed things up. Let's see. You can see how hard I am walking around in my t-shirt on the farm in the middle of the snow. Sub-zero temperatures. That honey is growing really fast. When I've got a bit more money, I'm getting another one of these beehives. They're fantastic. They're very expensive, and so we will have to have some money, but I'm definitely going to do it. So while we wait to see whether the darkness comes or the the snow melts. It's not looking like it's going to melt. The sheeps are nicely wrapped in wool, so they're okay. And we need to slow it down a minute. We're down to real time for the moment. So these guys are 100%. Let's go see what my poor chickens are. If they're not 100%, I do not know what to do. Right. Still 0%. They're eating the food. What is the problem with you chickens? Hey? Why are you 0%? I haven't had a single egg from you. I've never had this happen to me before, so I'm not totally sure what it is I'm doing wrong. Interesting. Maybe it's a glitch. I don't know. I've never had that particular chicken pen before, so it could be something to do with that. Well, it could just be that they hate me because I didn't feed them for so long. Do we try? to fertilise or wait for it to get to another stage? It's still saying growth stage 2, so I'm going to leave it at that. Wait till it gets to 3 or 4 and see if that makes it any difference. So let's go and see what February has to bring. I hope it at least brings some contracts. So again, we drift down about 1,000. Again, we have a bit of snow on the ground, is it? Frost. Wow, look at this. We're swimming in snow. Oh, I have never seen that before. Bit of a jog around to the chickens. We're still in stage 2 of 7 for the wheat. And they're 0% happy. They still have food though, which is something. Oh, didn't work out too well, did it? There we go, we made it. So these guys are happy, still got plenty of food. Let's go see how the grass is doing. Still on growth stage 2. Oh, this winter is killing me, and there's been no more wool. So, I didn't check whether there were any contracts, but I'm pretty certain there won't be. So, let's get into the spring now, so surely something will start to happen. There we go. Yeah, so if you've any thoughts on what's going on with those chickens, I think I might have to start looking at getting a different chicken coop if things don't improve. So we're into March and we have contracts. Hallelujah. Oh, they're all sowing. That's just what you want. My goodness. It's every field on the map. Woo. And it's all using the same sort of seeders, really. So that is definitely going to keep us busy for some time if we are going to take on some of these. I don't think it's still going down. I wonder what it is they're all going to be planting. So it's still going down. That is virtually every field on the map. Right, so we're going to have plenty to do over the course of this. Look at that, a lovely spring morning. Everything looks great. Our wheat is in stage 3. We'll try the fertilizer on it today. See if that makes it to the 100%. Right, we need to give the chicken some food, although it's looking like it's not really worth it, because whatever happens, they're not happy. Let's go for a swim. Oh no, we're not swimming, we're flying. What's going on with you? Get swimming. There we go. Past the beehive. And into the sheep pen. And I think we're going to have to at least give you some food as well. So they're going to be the jobs that we'll do. And what we'll do is we're approaching the 2-hour mark now. I think that's pretty good considering the time that I came on. So what I'll do is I'll top up the food for the animals, and then we'll have to look at what's going on with those chickens, and perhaps we need to get them into a different pen. And perhaps it's just a glitch with the pen that's keeping them at 0%. Because to my knowledge, all you have to do with chickens is feed them and they're happy. And that's not what's happening at the moment, so let's just have a quick look to see whether this field takes the fertilizer. I think one way of telling would be to get the worker to do it, because if it's not going to work, I would imagine the worker wouldn't do it. So if I go to the map now, yep, that's working. That's fine. That's a relief. So we'll take control of this because the worker was obviously playing up again. It does take such a short amount of time on this this field. Literally 3 passes in total. And I think that will be all the fertilisation that will be needed on this field until when the harvest is done. Press the right button. And we'll drop this here for now, because before the day's out, I think we're going to do those fertilising jobs. But yeah, we need to get the chicken food and I think I'll have to do it in this trailer because I've got honey in the other trailer. And I can't be bothered to take it out at the moment, so... So what's it say about the grass? It says it's ready to harvest, but I seem to remember that if we wait one more month, then it'll be a much better yield and better for baling. And hopefully we'll get a few months of that baling. So, every 3 months we'll get a cut off it. We need to get some silage on the go so that we can start buying. It's not lined up quite right. Oh, well, it's sort of there. So most of this wheat will be coming back because it only holds 1,000 litres. So there's a tree that's going to have to go. And round to the chickens. So tip side is left, so we'll have to skirt around this way. As carefully as we can. We need to get as close as we can. And hopefully this time the chickens will start to gain in health, because I have no idea why they're not gaining in health. So I think we'll come around to the silo from this direction. That's the wheat back into the silo. And now we want some grass. Or hay. I think it actually is. Hello. There it is. Still got so much hay actually that I don't think we need to worry about food for the sheep. I think we can definitely just go for silage bales. That certainly takes a lot. Which is quite handy. It's going to be a few months before they need feeding again, I would imagine. We desperately need that new carport. And while we're there, we'll just very quickly get some water. And well, it's been quite a disappointing few months in the game where we've got very little done. We probably could have done a little bit of tree felling and stuff like that, but really without having the equipment to do that, I think I didn't really have the heart to do that tonight. I think the money will now start rolling in. There's plenty of jobs available for us to do. So I will be employing my merry band of helpers to get some of these jobs done, and maybe we can start building our money up towards a new chicken pen, because we're going to have to, I think we're going to have to sell that chicken pen and get a new one, because there's something wrong there. There's no logical reason why we're not getting any health out of those chickens, or any eggs for that matter. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm pretty confident that the chickens don't require water or anything like that. So I don't actually know what the problem is with them. It could only be a glitch in the game that is keeping them on 0%. There we go, we've got it in the right place now. One of the sheepies has come over to see me while I'm at work. Wow, that took it all. I wasn't expecting that. But I don't think we need to put any more in. I think that will keep them going. So we'll leave it at that. We'll save the game in a moment. Let's have a look what's going on with the wool. No more wool yet. I don't know if that's normal. So yeah, I think we've cleared the 2-hour mark now, and I'm really tired, so I think I'm gonna go to bed. So I hope you've enjoyed. I know we haven't been able to do as much as we would have liked today, but it's just one of those things. The winter was obviously very harsh. There were no contracts to do, but all of a sudden the contracts are going to come thick and fast. It's going to be basically fertilising and seeding this month, and then I'm pretty sure it'll be baling again next month. So we'll start to really make some money over these next couple of months. But most of that will be for the next live stream. Look out, if you hit the subscribe, then you'll get this live. But either way, I'd love you to just leave a comment and a like if you've come across this live stream. Just nice to touch bases and get to know who's watching the content. And thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.